Well, today we're going to look at the idea of absolute value equations. And in order to understand the idea of absolute value equations, we have to understand what an absolute value is. And an absolute value is the distance that the number is away from 0. So we're going to look at what the relationship between 0 and the number is, and the distance between those 2 points will tell me what the absolute value of that number is. So let's look at some examples. So I have 10 on a number line. Okay, right here is 10, and I want to find out how far away is it from 0. So if I count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. So the absolute value of 10 is 10 because 10 is 10 units away from 0. Now, so let's look at absolute value of negative 11. So let's count how many units away negative 11 is away from 0. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units. There are 11 units that I'm going from negative 11 to 0, or 0 to negative 11. So that means that its absolute value is 11. So let's look at 14. Let's see how many units 14 is away from 0. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 units. Overall, if I go from 0 to 14, or 14 to 0, I'm going to travel 14 units. Therefore, the absolute value of 14 is 14. Bad looking 14, but it's 14. So we want to look at absolute value equations, and we want to try to solve them. So I know that we have a basic setup for absolute value equations, okay? Like we have something in front of x plus b. The absolute value of that will equal c. So here's a key thing. This equation can only be solved if the value c is a positive number and the absolute value expression is by itself. And we'll see more about this tomorrow, or when you see me in the next class. To solve the equation, you just set the answer inside the absolute value signs equal to positive c and negative c. Because I'm trying to figure out what can I put in place of x that would allow me the chance to come up with a number whose absolute value would be equal to this. So let's look at an example. So let's look at example 1. And what we want to do is we want to figure out, hey, what can I put in place of x whose distance from 0 to that number is 4? So, well, the absolute value of 4 is 4. So I know that x can equal 4. Because 4 is 4 units away from 0, and negative 4 is 4 units away from 0 as well. So the answer would be positive 4 and negative 4. So all I really did was set whatever's inside the absolute value symbols equal to plus or minus the number outside. Well, this one I can't solve because I can't take an absolute value of any number and get a negative number. So that would be a no solution. Okay, so let's look at another example. Or actually, what I want you guys to try to do is on your notes, try questions 1 through 3, and we'll go over that in the next class. So let's look at this problem right here. I have the absolute value of x plus 4 equals 7. So somehow, inside, I want to find an x value that I could put in place of x, that if I were to take the absolute value of that term, it would get 7. So what happens? What can I put in place of, what am I looking for? The absolute value of what equals 7? The absolute value of what equals 7? Well, we said that what could be positive 7 and negative 7. So because of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set x plus 4 equal to positive 7. And x plus 4 equal to negative 7. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So I get x to be 3. And I can subtract 4 from both sides. And I get x to be negative 11. So what does that mean? Well, if I put 3 in place of x, if I do the absolute value of 3 plus 4, that's the absolute value of 7, which is 7. That's what I'm supposed to get. If I put negative 11 in place of x, So if I do the absolute value of negative 11 plus 4 and set it equal to 7, I get the absolute value of negative 7. And that's going to equal 7 too. So 7 equals 7. Okay? So let's look at what I want you to try to do is the next two, 4 and 5, are very similar to what we just did. So try to those two questions for me. And when you are done with those, we'll go over those in class tomorrow, but we can go on to the next example here. So I have the absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals 5. So keep in mind, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out the absolute value of what equals 5. Well, what do I know? Well, that what could be positive 5 or negative 5. So I want to try to either get positive 5 inside those absolute value symbols or negative 5 inside of those absolute value symbols. So I want to figure out, hey, what is x? What can x be? So I'm going to set 2x minus 1 equal to positive 5 and 2x minus 1 equal to negative 5. So I'm going to add 1. I have 2x equals 6. Divide both sides by 2. And you get x to be 3. So that's one answer. Now I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to add 1. I have 2x equals negative 4. Divide both sides by 2. And you get x to equal negative 2. So if I do 2 times 3 minus 1, that's the absolute value of 6 minus 1, which is the absolute value of 5, which equals 5. That's what we're looking for. If I do the absolute value of 2 times negative 2 minus 1, that's the absolute value of negative 4 minus 1. That's the absolute value of negative 5, which is also equal to 5. So, what we're going to do is you guys are going to finish the next two questions, and we're going to go over those in class, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.